Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Arctic Gaming Experience 2022, and we are moments away from getting to the action we've all been waiting for, the first semifinals.
It's going to be a banger of a first semifinals. I cannot wait to see these players come up on stage and show just how much practice they've put in since yesterday.
We saw so much amazing gameplay yesterday. The matches were all crazy. I think any of the 16 players could have earned their spot here and had the pace to do so, but the 8 we see were just a little bit better when it mattered most, and the four first players that we're going to introduce to the stage are Tween, Pack, Cocow, and Massa, 4 amazing players that we will see 2 go to the finals and 2 get eliminated.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're playing for the first 2 players to complete the match. If we take a look at the brackets here up on screen, we're going to be able to see Tween, Pack, Cocow, and Massa are going to be in semifinal 1. Call Junior, Binks, Bren, and Kappa are going to be in semifinal 2, and we're going to bring the players up on stage in just a moment.
And I think, you know, which bracket here you would rather be in. It's hard to say. Either you're going up against Giant of Tween or you're going up against Carl and the others. You're going to have to play your best Trackmania to earn your spot. But let's not hold up any longer. Let's start by bringing the players up. And we're starting with a bang. We're starting with the player that went 16 for 16 points on day 1, winning 4 matches, and not just winning, honestly destroying the competition. He is looking ready. He's looking prepared. Please give a warm welcome to Tween. And Tween, yesterday we talked about how amazing it is to finally have such an experience, to finally feel like you're breaking through the mold. But now it's a question of, can you go all the way? And my question to you is, who in this semifinal do you think is going to be the biggest competitor for you?
I have to say that every single of those 3 players, they're capable of being very fast. And I'll just have to not let it get to me when I make a good time, but still I'm going to be defeated. And that can happen basically every round. So I'll have to keep on the lookout for basically everyone who was like taking the 10 pointers away. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I can agree that all the players are amazing. Please get ready for the match and have your seat. And one more time for Tween here.
Next up, we have the 27-year-old German player representing Berlin International Gaming, and he has been the 2021-year-old German, or the 2021 German champion, as well as the 4th and 5th place winner in the World Cup. Please come in, Massa. So, Massa, we saw a little bit of your gameplay coming in from backstage, some bangers being played back there. Do you think you can bring the same pace out here on stage?
Let's find out. Let's do it.
Let's do it indeed. Come on. All right. So, what is your own prediction for this match? Do you think you can bring it out and clutch it out in the end here?
Honestly, I'm open-minded. I cannot predict. Impossible. Anyone can make it.
Anybody could make it.
Anyone.
I agree. Give it up for Massa.
The next player we will welcome to the stage, coming from the land of France, it is Cocow, who was the Air France winner and also has done well in the French Championship and in the LSE Cup. Please give it up for Cocow. Now, Cocow, most of your matches yesterday were played backstage. It is your first match here on stage, and it is in the semifinals. Do you think this is going to be a better experience for you, or is it different and harder to play in front of an audience?
It might be different, but I really hoped yesterday to play on the match, on the backstage, on stage, sorry. So yeah, maybe I'm going to play better, maybe worse. We'll see.
We will see. Do you have any predictions on who is going to be your toughest opponent to beat?
I think Tween is a clear favorite. He won every single matches. And yeah, I think, like Massa said, anyone else can be second. So yeah, we'll see.
We will see. Please have your seat and best of luck in the match.
And last but not least, 24-year-old player from United Kingdom representing M&M Gaming, 2016 World Champion. And give a big welcome to Pack. You had a very strong showing in yesterday's matches. We saw some good clutches coming in. Do you think you were prepared enough for today's matches right now?
I'm hoping so. The practice backstage went all right. I'm hoping to, put out some good times and, give these guys a real challenge today.
I think you're definitely going to be able to. What was the mental back at home when you got back? Did you go back into grinding immediately, or did you wait for the day to get fresh back into the games?
Oh, fresh. Just come back today and just feel good and just, mentally just think you can get through to the next fight, like get to the final, hopefully.
I believe in you, Pack. We all believe in you, Pack. Give a big hand.
All these 4 players did amazing in the qualifier. There's a reason we see them here in the semis. Now, 2 of those will be going to the grand final with a chance of playing for the top spots in that $30,000 prize pool. It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be incredible. The matches are going to be in the same format as yesterday, playing to 120 points. The 2 players that come out in top are going to qualify for the finals.
Let's get started. Now, we in the Trackmania community are fortunate enough to have great analysts sitting after the matches were done yesterday and running some stats on the players across all the maps played on the group stage and giving us some great numbers to talk about. And what we have seen is that, for example, Buda, this map that we're seeing the players warm up on right now, was a great map for players like Bren, who had a great average, but Tween, that we're going to see in this match, he really excelled on the final 2 maps of the map pack. Nurlan, the one with the plastic part in the middle, and also on Salmon, the transitional map with a lot of back and forth. Those are probably Tween's 2 strongest maps. But having said that, backstage before the match began today, Massa just drove 2 world records within the span of an hour.
And that's the interesting part, because the world records that Massa drove, one was on Arctic, the hardest map, arguably, on the map pack. And maybe he's going to be able to really grab in some points on that one if Tween is not prepared.
Yeah, on Arctic and also on Nelly, the very tight transitional map. So Massa just did 2 out of the 5 world records you could possibly have. Backstage, even though the players have grinded hours for the qualifier and also, driving the maps at their peak performance here on stage. So Massa looking good there. Cocow, a bit more of a consistent player, I think we could say. He doesn't have the peak fastest pace, but he also, I think, doesn't make as many mistakes.
Absolutely not, and there's a reason he's here in the semi-final. It's because he has what it takes to bring it home, and I think has a solid chance of doing so. But once again, Tween has been showing just a pace and a consistency that is very, very difficult to rival. So it's going to be interesting to see if the other players have what it takes to dethrone him here.
It does, and just quickly checking the stats here, the clear best maps for Cocow seem to be Nurlan and also Arctic, the one with the ice slide. But then when we look at Buda, the one map we haven't talked about as much, you have to ask yourself, what is the best map for them? And just talking about that right now, as they're warming up, Tween just broke the world record on Buda.
That is
literally right now on the server.
incredible, Tween!
Here in preparation. So, yeah, the old world record was a 56.24, and he just did a 56.23.
So, Tween showing us just what he's been hiding already in the warm-up. He's just, let's just break this world record. Why not?
I think he heard us talk about the Massa breaking records, and he was like, yeah, I can do that too.
I can do that easy.
Yeah.
Why not? I just didn't want to, honestly.
I was waiting for doing it in front of the crowd, for the round of applause, yeah.
That's a pretty Chad move, honestly.
Does it get more Chad? Is there anything more Chad you can do? Maybe mid-match. If you do it in the match, that's
also
when you really
crazy cool. Absolutely. But okay, already a world record being shown in the pre-warm-up. That must also go to show the other players maybe a little bit more nerves coming in, seeing just the pace that Tween has picked up since yesterday.
Yeah, but it is also, like, I think, unexpected for them, because from the stats yesterday, his best time in match on that map was 56.88. And now in the warm-up, he just did 56.23. And I think the question a lot of people have been posing about Tween is, you know, when he's comfortable, he's a menace. He is so fast. But can he get into that comfort? Because in other matches where you might see a bit of nerves, that's where he crashed the first 2 rounds and whatnot. So I think for Tween it comes down to comfort. How quickly can he get into the zone?
And there's also, you know, some pressure that always gets built on you if you're a favorite, right?
Yeah.
The second that people have expectations of you doing really well, and now that he also showed us a world record, maybe those expectations get even higher. That can put some pressure on you, which is also very difficult to perform on.
It is, and I think some players would rather go in with like the underdog position where you can say, okay, if I make it, it's going to be amazing. If I don't, then let's say people didn't expect otherwise, you know? But here in this field, I think there's no underdogs. I think they all have an equal chance of making it. You have Tween, who historically now in this map pack has had the best performance. But really, these are 4 world-class Trackmania players we get to enjoy, then battle it out for the next 30 or so minutes, and we will see which 2 of these players can perform when it matters and go to the grand finals.
So they're going to be warming up right now. This is one of the maps we saw in the Streamer 2 versus 2.
The Arctic map.
The Arctic map that showcases some ice that we didn't see before.
And
or
also,
on the other maps,
and also a really difficult quarter pipe jump here.
Yeah.
In the A version, where there's no reactor booster to help you, that jump is difficult to do consistently. But this is also the map that Massa, in the backstage warm-up, did a world record on, a 1:01:19. If you want to pay attention to the times, 1 minute, 1 second, and 19 hundredths is the world's fastest time on this map. And yesterday in matches, the best we've seen consistently is around 1:01.5, 0.6, so about half a second off the peak pace.
Which is still incredibly fast. Driving near a world record, even half a second close to world record in a live match is so different than doing it in a time attack setting where you can keep resetting, you can keep trying new lines.
Yeah. And the best time in a match on the day yesterday was driven by Carl Jr., 1 minute, 1 second, and 37 hundredths. Between here in the warm-up, 10 hundredths behind that. Let's get a round of applause for the players as they begin the first round here in the semi-finals. And Jnic, it would be a pleasure if you could take it away.
Absolutely. First round has been kicked off. All of the players get a great left-handed drift here in the start. Pack and Massa a little bit in the back. Tween trying to push ahead already, but the players are so close to each other. Less than 0.1, but we have a mistake, first mistake of the day coming in from Tween. Unfortunately, could not keep that first place hanging, but now Cocow will inherit that first place, and Pack is right behind as they enter the left-handed ice slide. Are they going to set it up with an outside line to an inside approach? Pack getting a little bit of that snow, but that's fine because Massa will just overtake that second place, actually getting all the way up to first, and Cocow is now right behind.
Yeah, great pace for Massa there. This is looking like what he drove backstage. Consistency here on Arctic. Can he find that last serve too? That will be a great start for him with 10 points. Also the 6-pointer here being contested by both Pack and Cocow, but Pack inching out a small lead, and he's going to take that one away.
Great start coming in from Massa. It feels great getting that first 10-point of a match. That's the momentum that you want to see, that you want to get, and hopefully he can keep it going.
I mean, you sit backstage, right, and you wonder for hours, like, how is this going to go? Which map's going to be the first? When are we getting into it? And then you just start. And starting with a 10, I think it alleviates a lot of the pressure you've been feeling. Like, yeah, I can totally do this.
Absolutely.
Let's keep it up. But here, for Tween, it's the opposite, you know? Same expectations, same waiting. Now he made a mistake in one of the very first corners.
But
how can he come back from that?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at all the players that you're driving against as the world-class players. It's never, ever going to be easy. But once you get that first place, you're like, yes, I'm one of them. I'm one of the best players in the world. I'm going to contest for this, as we see Pack with a slight touch there on the jump. But it did not seem like he got eliminated fully.
He is still in the race there, will overtake third as Cocow had a bit of an awkward ice slide, but now Tween is up there with Massa, and that means the pace is fast. Definitely 101 pace here for both players. Can Massa find anything in the ending? He's going to go for a lower approach that puts him wider here, gives him a more difficult approach to manage onto the grass. Still a car length in favor of Tween as we go into the last corner here. Massa with a bit more speed, jumping wider, trying to carry it to the line, but Tween inches that out with a 10-pointer for himself.
Tween comes right back from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now he's here taking that 10-pointer right after a mistake. You love to see it. It goes to show that his mental did not perish at all.
It didn't. He knows, you know, it's a long game. You can make a mistake, you can still keep going right after when the clock resets and you go from the start line. They're a great time to win with as well, 101.6, some of the fastest we've seen. And that does put pressure on the players now that haven't yet gotten a win. Cocow, this is one of his best maps on average pace, and also for Pack here, he certainly will not want to start the match in last here. So a little bit of pressure on them for the last 3 rounds.
There is also a strategy to not necessarily go for first, but consistently getting that second place, because that is still going to push you up in the points quite fast.
It is, and here Pack a little bit wide on the ice slide there, is losing some ground to the others as Tween goes into the wall with the loss of grip and a chance for Cocow to get into the 10s himself. On to the last couple of turns, he has Massa beat by about a 10th, but Massa on the inside line here, look at that, coming back for the grass. They're going to decide it in the final drift. Massa setting up with a lot of speed, but Cocow on the inside line holds that down. A win for Cocow as well, and he's happy about that.
He definitely looked like he was happy getting that cheering on. I can definitely understand some of the pressure getting alleviated once you also get yourself back into that 10-pointer, and now all the points look kind of close.
Yeah, we have had 3 winners in the first 3 rounds. Pack still yet to get a 10-point, but this might also not be his best map. I think he really will excel on maps like Mulan, where it's more about, you know, raw drifting pace and whatnot. As we see a mistake early, that is Cocow making a mistake in the first turns, the round after he won. So here, gonna have to weigh it out as the others will challenge for first. But here, before the quarter pipe, it is Pack looking like the closest contender to Massa. Can he keep that up on the ice?
Yeah, Pack going a little bit higher, but he's going to get a little bit more exit speed because of it. But they're going to be neck and neck, getting an inside line. What a beautiful ice slide coming in there from Pack, extending the lead that he just built. And now he needs to just clutch it out. About 0.1 ahead of Massa, but Massa can try to see if he can push just the last couple of tech drifts going into the last grass section before a right-hander. Pack maintains the lead, gets a great right-hander, and now one more jump. Can he make it? He does make it. Pack with another 10 points to his name.
Amazing. So 4 rounds and 4 unique winners. If that doesn't speak to the level here, I don't know what does. They are all equally good here, and we have so many more rounds to follow. But Massa has been the consistently best player so far, getting a couple of second places, getting a third, I think, and that's why he sits at the top of the scoreboard.
Yes, but then again, all of the players are in the 20-point range, so they're incredibly close to each other, and I think that goes to show that all these players in the semifinals, they all deserve to be there. They all are able to take it home.
They are, and now it's a matter of who can be the first to take a lead on wins, you know, to get the second win of the round, who can carry some momentum now. Pack probably feeling good, getting the breakthrough. After a couple of bad ice slides, he had a perfect one there and got the setup he was looking for. Now into the final round of Arctic. They're all gathered here for the turn. See who gets it the best. One of the most important corners on the map. Pack going a bit wide, hitting the corner, and that's going to be him out of the race as Tween extends a massive lead out of that section. 2 tenths ahead of Massa and 4 ahead of Cocow. Certainly enough to win with if he can keep it together. Massa still looking for that, still not going to give it to Tween for free. It's going to make him work for it here. He needs to land every turn, every jump, every transition, but Tween will do that and take 10 more points.
But Massa showing consistency and getting second place once again. So he is also going to jump up to 34 points, but it was an important 10-pointer for Tween, jumping up to second place, but still only 10 points separating the 4 players.
Yeah, that was a great first map to start on. I think everyone got to shake loose a bit with the nerves getting adjusted to the chair, to the lights, to the crowd, to the keyboard, whatever it might be. But they're going to have to adapt quickly here because we're going to Buda, a very interesting map.
This is an incredible map. It's a little bit different than the others. There, it has some more uniqueness with the quarter pipe jumps that we're going to see, and as well as the engine off block, which, if you guys did not know, once they drive over this black and red block that is going to come later in the round, right here, the car's engine shuts off, and you cannot accelerate the car. So the faster you enter that section with, the more you're just going to slowly roll ahead of your opponents.
Yeah, and then here, the quarter pipe jumps that really identify this map, where you have to jump from one quarter pipe to the other. First, once there in the middle of the map, and then once more in the ending. This is one of the maps that the players have practiced the most. Even just a couple of hours ago in the back room, they were sitting with a designated practice map where they only play this ending section over and over again to make sure they could do it in the match. And you'll see why it's difficult here. Around the last corner, up the quarter pipe, and then you have to go so low into the finish here. It's very difficult to do, and now that the warm-up is over, we'll see who can do it the best in the round.
That is an incredibly difficult jump, and it's also because, as you can see, the players want to jump very, very straight towards the finish to get the lowest and straightest trajectory into the finish. But if you just jump a little bit too soon, you're not going to make it.
Exactly, but this is also the map that Tween just drove a world record on in the warm-up moments before we started. 56:23 is the time to look for. That is the current world record now from Tween. See if anyone can get close to that. The best winning times we saw in rounds yesterday was around 56.6. So also really fast if you ever see them get into the 56s.
Absolutely. I just saw Tween go for a little bit more of an outside line before entering the engine off section, and that might be able to give him some more speed, so I think we should look out for that in the upcoming rounds. But right now, Pack seems to be taking the lead with Cocow and Massa trailing right behind. They're having a very, very tight fight for that second place. As we get into the final stages of the map, the player are going to jump into a right-handed drift and cut the corner of this grass to be able to get a more straight trajectory into this right-hander, and then just one more jump is going to determine who's going to win the first round right here as Pack takes it home.
And what a time that is as well. Tween, importantly, sniping second place away from Massa there by just 200ths of a second, 300ths of a second. He will take that, but a great time to start from Pack.
Absolutely, and Cocow actually almost not making it there. I think he hit that finish and had to respawn from the previous checkpoint, but luckily still was able to get those 3 points home.
And look at the points now in total, Jnic. 38, 37, and 36 there for the top three, all following each other step by step here. And Cocow with the 27 still very close with the others in the fight.
Did you see Tween's line right there?
That is amazing.
I mean, he goes wider and gets more exit speed into that engine off section, and it just lets his car roll faster than the other cars.
And it's important to know that nothing here, okay, a bit low, nothing here should be taken for granted. Every corner where they're going pixel perfect next to the wall, that is something they are actively doing, actively thinking about. And any small, minor, incorrect movement there will cause a crash to happen. But they have such finesse and such car control that they can consistently manage this turn after turn here. Massa in the lead before the ending, but we know Pack had a good jump, and Pack looking for the sniper to get another 10 points on Buddha. Is Massa going too high? Ooh. Massa holding the lead, but what a jump from Pack.
Pack did an amazing jump right there, almost snapping Massa, but I think Massa did the right thing and went just a little bit safer because he did notice that he had just a few tenths to work with, and he utilized those tenths to make sure that he could save it.
And it's a great start now to the tournament for Massa. So many first places and second places that he's racked up, really consistently driving there without any big mistakes so far, I believe. So this is a great performance for him, and if he can keep that up, that is grand final material.
And here we see the wider line coming in from Tween. Try to take a notice to his car. See just how he has a little bit more speed than the others, and that's going to accumulate through that entire section. And now he's just up on first again.
Yeah, it goes up to from third first there, I believe, in that section alone. And this time he gets the quarter pipe jump as well to put himself in the battle for the 10-pointer. Holding that down in front of Pack, but here on the dirt jump, pay attention as well, as Tween is going to try to do a small side jump there. Do you see his car tilts on the jump, maybe getting a little bit less airtime? At least that is what he's going for. Pack, though, without that, is right there with him, side by side before the ending now. One more drift in the jump. We know Pack does this really well, really low jump. Can Tween beat it?
Ooh! Pack going for the lowest of lowest jumps, and unfortunately just scratches that corner of the finish post, and that means that Tween can just snipe it.
Yeah, Tween takes the 10-pointer, and we are right back to 51, 50, and 49 points. As we saw the last player that barely finished, Cocow, getting in. But that is such a great scoreline to have halfway through.
I mean, we could not ask for a tighter game here in the start.
No, this is incredible. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. One more time, pay attention to the different setups here. You can either go very tight for the freewheeling, but then you will have less speed. And Tween will just extend far past Cocow with that wide setup. So choosing to lose a little bit of time in the setup to have more speed later.
So the question here is, everybody sees, ooh, Everybody sees Tween's line, especially here backstage, and people could adjust their own setup depending on if they think that's worth it.
Yeah, they could, but you see they make it work with their own lines too. It's so close. All three players crossing this checkpoint at about the same time. Pack a little bit ahead, but Tween and Cocow do have better setups for this next turn, so they are right there with them. Who's going to take this one? Who dares to go the lowest on the jump? Is it Pack, who has first right now? Wow, what a round.
And just like that, Pack pushes himself up to first place once again in the scoreboard. And it's just back and forth between the players. There's no clear person that tries to extend their lead towards the others. They're just right next to each other.
Yeah, and we are seeing 4 of the top 8 players in the tournament. We are seeing them really duke it out here. Massa with an early mistake there on the outside banking. Has not had many yet, so can't afford to have one now and still be in the running. But these players are putting on an absolute show right now. Tween, again in that freewheeling part, that engine off section is where he gains a lot of time, but now in the quarter pipe jump, he clipped the wheel a little bit here. This is where Pack gained an advantage, and now he goes perfectly over the edge, takes away first place momentarily. Can he hold it with a low jump in the ending?
Let's see if Pack can attack. Currently only 1 car length behind, but we have the ending where Pack has showed us that he has some incredible precision on that last quarter pipe jump into the finish. Only 1 more right-hander. He's trying to attack here with the inside line. Is he going to be able to make the low jump happen? Getting really close, but unfortunately hitting that goal post, and Tween will take home the 10 points.
Another 10 points for Tween, and that's also the lead now in the match. And with Massa getting only 3 points that round, that puts Tween and Pack about 10 points ahead almost.
And that's where we start to see a small divide between the top 2 and the bottom 2 players here, but it can change up so quickly, Wirtual.
It really can, and especially when we go into maps where, you know, one player might be feeling more comfortable than another. For example, this next map here, Tween is looking like the clear favorite on paper. In 15 rounds on this map, he drove within half a second of the world record as his average. And you have Massa with 10 rounds who did the same, so they are looking really good on this. Cocow could certainly pack some punches here as well. And Pack, we actually don't have enough info on this map to know where he places, but you can be sure he's prepared.
We can be sure he's prepared because obviously he's sitting right here with the others in the semifinal, but we don't have it on paper where he stands. He might be faster than Tween on this.
Maybe. You know, this is a map where Tween did have the world record. He got very close to it as well yesterday when he drove a 1:05.43 in match. And I believe the record is 0.38. So 1:05.38, the time to look for if you're watching for world records. But yeah, it's also about the consistency. And for the ending here, there's a couple of different lines you can do for that dirt uphill. That's something to notice, where you might see players gain an advantage.
There's also another dirt section in the middle of the map, which is kind of like a slalom section, where you can really push the outside lines. That's going to give your car more exit speed, but it's also going to risk it a lot for you because you might hit that outside wall.
You might, and you saw, for example, here in the warm-up alone, Pack did not have enough speed for the finish. So going a little bit too tight on that dirt uphill, you really have to figure out just when you're fast enough to commit for the turn.
Absolutely, but now we're jumping into the first round of Salmon, and we see the players go for very, very similar lines right here. Some of the most important parts of the map are also these transitions between the dirt and the road, or the grass and the road, where the players are going to be able to set up for drifts really early. A right-handed sausage turn right here, where the players are going to try to push for as much speed as possible, and Massa and Tween are pulling ahead here in the start.
Ooh, bit wide line for Tween there, but he's able to reel it back in, get onto the trajectory he was looking for. That is now, though, Cocow taking the lead. And here in the dirt, looks like Tween was not hitting the optimal apex either, so he's going to lose a little bit of time, but what a battle it is so far, all 4 players. And Pack as well, who just had that one first turn that was a bit unoptimal. Massa into the wall. Cocow now with a clear lead. But Tween, we know he does this ending well. We know he has his own setup that he likes to go for. It was enough to beat Pack in the warm-up. Can he get it here and overtake up the hill? Looks like Pack wants to save for second place as well. But Cocow is going to take first, and Tween gets second ahead of Pack.
That is an important 10 points for Cocow with a 105.55. And he is now trying to pull himself back into the game.
He's getting there. One more 10-pointer at that, and he's right up there with Massa. So, you know, it's just about, if you know a map is not your strong suit, you just have to be patient and bide your time and think, the better maps will come for me later when I need them.
Absolutely, and that might be what Cocow has done right now. It did look like he had a very strong start to Salmon, but we cannot count the other players out as of yet, because as we've said, Tween on paper has an incredible pace on this map. So let's take a look at him as he goes for a more inside line, tries to push a little bit ahead of the field, gets a really good jump there, low air time into the grass section, and then a right-handed drift. The players are so close to each other this round.
Oh, I actually like that adaptation for Tween. Very different setup all the way through that section for about 10 seconds, but you can see it paying off. But really look at what we have on our screen here. 4 players going up the hill before the ending. They know the difference between 10 points and 3 points. Right now it's just a couple of hundreds, and they're going to send it all in the ending to try to get it as they fight for the position for the lead in the match. Tween going wide for the setup, and that could be good for Cocow, who has a little bit more speed. Massa on the inside line. Who's it going to be? Tween going for it. And it's going to be Tween taken first.
What an incredible fight that was. The players, they were under 1/10 of a second near each other for most of that round.
Incredible stuff. It just speaks to the level here. But Tween able to get those important 10 points now to extend his lead, because the scores are not as close anymore. He has about a 20-point gap down to Massa in third, who is the player he's looking to beat. If Pack goes on, he can still advance in the top 2, right?
Absolutely. So once again, the top 2 players are the people that will advance into the grand finals right now. So we're only going to see the top 2 players finish, and it's going to be very, very close.
It really is. Here, look at the setup. We were talking about this last round. For Tween, he likes to set up wide for this drift here so that he can go wider on this turn with more speed into the dirt, and then he's going to have a slightly worse line here, but he says the time gain should be worth it. Pack and Massa opting for a different setup, and you can see that they are right there with him. Some different comfort and optimization they're going for. Right now, Cocow 2/10 behind the others, but so far, anything can still happen in this round with Massa slightly ahead before the last drift.
Yeah, and Massa trying to go for an inside line right here, pushing that left-hander for the last turn. And is he going to be able to get it? Goes out in front right now, but does he have the exit speed to take it home? Tween trying to attack, but Massa takes it home.
Incredible times there. Everyone in the heat going under 106. Amazing stuff here being played on the stage.
That is incredibly fast by everybody, and it goes to show that you do not have the luxury of going slow in any
You
round.
cannot safe anywhere.
No,
Getting a 105.9 is last.
Yep.
You might as well crash, right? Instead of driving a 105.9, you might as well go all in for the 105 lows. They know that's the level. They know they have to go full risk here to get any points in the heats.
I think that's incredible. There's no turn where you're like, oh, I'm just going to make sure that I do this turn a little bit safer just to make sure that I get it. No. You got to go full risk, like, all the time.
Yeah, and you see Pack trying there. If he got through there with the speed, that would have paid off, but now he pays the price for the mistake, and he's out of the fight. Still, though, Tween and Massa going for this, and this is a big opportunity for Massa to potentially get up to second place in the match. If he beats Tween here, gets the 10-pointer, and Pack stays last, that is Massa jumping up into second, into the playoff spots for the grand final. So he's trying to get it. Tween with more speed on the approach has to drift to make sure he stays on the optimal line before the ending uphill here. Who's going to have the most speed? Who's going to dare to go for the inside approach? Tween going wide, trying to carry the speed. He has to lead, but he hits the pillar. And Massa goes for the safe finish. It's Cocow.
And Cocow gets the 10 points.
Incredible stuff. They didn't have the speed, either of them, I think.
And that goes to show all of the players, they took the mantra of, if I don't full risk it, I might as well crash. And the only person that didn't crash was Cocow, actually finishing first with the time that was last in last round.
Yeah, you never know what might happen with the other players, but over time, I don't think you can afford to save that much, and you see it in most of the rounds. So that one, bit of an odd one, but Cocow will take very important 10 points there to put himself a bit more level in the match.
You have to capitalize on your opponent's mistakes, and that's exactly what Cocow did right there. And that's also a skill in and of itself as we go into the next round, where Tween and Pack in the front. Massa trying to attack with a very aggressive inside line right there, trying to get a little bit closer. kind of worked, but Tween and Pack still have a little bit of a lead as Pack unfortunately hits that outside wall.
Pack into the wall, and this can mean the opportunity for Massa once again arises to go up into second place in the match. Big opportunity for Tween as well to extend his lead now against the others. We're playing to 120 points. He's at 92 right now. A 10-pointer here will get him so close to reaching that threshold. Can Massa deny him and keep the match alive for a bit longer? Goes up the hill, is in the lead, but does he have the speed here, Massa? Is he going to get it? Massa gets the 10 points.
And Tween with a slight mistake, probably clipping the ending, giving Cocow the opportunity to overtake for second place.
He does indeed. Massa will jump up into second, only 6 points behind Tween now after 2 full maps are played.
And this is going to be
full maps.
interesting. Like 3 people are getting really, really close to that 100 barrier, and Cocow is trailing right behind. And now, Wirtual, can you tell us a little bit about this map?
It's so interesting that this is our 4th map here. Nelly is considered the hardest map of the map pack. This is the map that most of the players were practicing backstage when we went around and talked to them before the matches today. You saw so many people playing this one. And importantly for Massa here, he drove the world record just 2 hours ago on this map, a 56.58, the only person to have done a 0.5. And this map comes up just when he needs it to potentially get to grand final.
And that is incredible, the pace that just driving like that, I don't know if that's possible to do in rounds, because you have to risk so much. But we might see Massa having that same pace, and if he does show up with that pace right here, he's definitely going to take home a first place.
But yesterday, this was also a really good map for Pack, who was consistently getting under the 58-second threshold, 57.8, 57.7 as well, being driven for Tween. So their consistency from yesterday shows up, but the raw pace is in Massa's favor.
Absolutely. I'm going to look forward to seeing the players drive this, because this is one of the most technical maps in the entire map pack, and just seeing the precision and the perfection that the players are executing to drive this fast is just fascinating.
It's really a treat to behold. So here we go with the first round. The warm-up is concluding now. They get a bit of time to stretch, get ready, get settled for the very important 5 rounds to be played on this.
Absolutely. This is where we can see actually some of the players reach finalist position if they do well enough. But as we've seen so far in the first match, the players are really good at trading between the points and trading between the victories.
And I think for Cocow as well, this is the opportunity that he has to go and close the gap right now, because if not, the other 3 players are soon going to be finalists. As you said, he really has to close that gap of points on Melee, but you see it here through the gap in the pillars. It's Massa leading ahead of Pack. Cocow currently last, but only by 0.2 of a second. Tween a little bit behind that. Looks like he's made a mistake here in the early turn, so he's out of the round. And this is an opportunity for Massa to go up into the lead of the match with a 10-pointer. Pack trying to get there as well. More speed down the hill. Does he keep the grip? He does, but he hits the sign and does fall down now in the rankings. Massa clearly in first, and great round for Cocow as well. They just need to make sure they have the speed for that last jump here up on the platform and into the finish. Massa with a 10-pointer and a 57 to start.
That is crazy fast from Massa, showing us that he's really been practicing this map. The behind the stage world record that he just played definitely was not a fluke.
It was not. 100 points reached for him, the lead of the match, 1 point ahead of Tween. And also look at this, it's so close now. Pack 89, Cocow 80. These rounds matter a lot, and the players know it. Let's see what they bring in to round number 2.
And what is crazy is that Massa was on a 3rd place, and Tween and Pack were starting to create a gap between them. But now Massa has fought himself all the way back up into 1st place, and we see him right now again fighting for that 1st place contention. But Tween does have the lead as of right now. Are they going to be able to clutch out just those few tenths of a second to maintain the lead?
Ooh, big speed for Cocow there as he overtakes Massa, and Massa's actually now last. It's a full equalized match if this goes on, this result right here. Tween with good speed before the downhill. Does he get the setup? Does Pack avoid that tiny crash last time he does? Cocow going a bit too wide for the setup, and that is now Massa catching up for the 3rd place. Battle ensues for first here. Will Pack have anything to say about this 1st place for Tween? More speed before the last jump. This could be big for Tween. Does he get it?
Oh, Tween barely inches it out.
100th of a second.
And that's going to put Tween up to 1st place. Once again, Massa maintaining that 2nd, but they're getting really, really close to finalists now.
They are, but importantly here, Tween is at 109 points, meaning a win will not put him into finalist. It's going to be at least 2 rounds before anyone gets there. And Massa could also do it in 2 rounds. Pack could do it in 3. We are reaching a conclusion to this match very soon. The players need to give it their all right now.
And as we've talked about, I'm going to say it one more time, we're only going to see the first 2 players finish, which means that we're not going to see a contention for 3rd or 4th place because the prize pool for those placements are the same.
They are the same, and it's finals or nothing more here. That's what they're playing for. Tween again in the lead, this time a bit of a bigger margin to the others. Here we saw Cocow missing the setup a little bit. Now he gets it the best, I'd say, out of the 4 players to get a bit closer. And if 4 players are all going in for the ending, Massa has a small lead. Pack going with a lot of speed there, but not going to carry Tween into the corner. Massa could take first in the match here with that win.
And just like that, Massa puts himself up into a very favorable position to get that finalist position in the next round. We're going to see Tween on 113 as well, and Pack only 2 victories away from getting there as well.
They're all so close. A win for Tween gets him finalist. A 2nd place for Massa gets him there. And Pack and Cocow, they know they have to string together a lot of wins and even denying the finalists here if they want to get there themselves. If we get to Nurlan, interesting things can happen, and the last map in the map pack is a good one for Pack and Cocow, but it's also one of Tween's best maps, so I think Massa would really like to try to close it out here on Melee. Before we get there, just needs to get to 120 to start.
And once again, Massa just needs a 2nd place. Tween needs to get first if we want to get into finalist position. But Massa hits that outside wall, and it's going to be really, really difficult for him to get back up. But Tween does have a solid chance of taking home first. Pack with a mistake as well. And now Cocow's the only one who can deny Tween getting that finalist position. They're so close to each other, both setting up for an outside line here. Cocow trying to push the exit speed, but Tween has the lead right now. Does he have the last jump? Will he be able to go into finalist position? Yes, he will.
Tween reaches finalist, and he's the only finalist right now on the scoreboard, 1 round ahead of Massa. And he has a chance to fail at least once without getting denied a spot in the finals. This last round on Melee, he could close it out and get his finalist ticket.
Absolutely, and it's up to the 3 other players to try to see if they can deny Tween that victory, especially for Massa, because Massa will also be a finalist after this round.
He will. Tween entering the starting section here in 1st place, about a 10th ahead of Cocow in last, and it was still really close. Trying to set up the turn now in between the pillars, going very much so on the inside, but still carrying that line through, getting a small speed slide on the grass. Pack still ahead of him here as he sets up wider, trying to get that turn down on the next platform. As we see, Pack is right there. The lines are different, but they're both equally fast here onto the water edge. The downhill ensues. Pack's had some troubles here, and he clips. And Tween is alone in first right now. Massa is 2 tenths behind, but this could be Tween.
Oh, but Tween makes a mistake! And Massa is now the only one in the lead. Can Massa take it home, become a finalist, and deny Tween? It looks like he can. Pack coming in on 2nd with a very important 6 points.
Massa will join Tween as finalist as we skip to the next map, and Pack puts himself at 110. If Pack wins this next round, we will have 3 finalists.
That would be insane. And now we're going to jump into the next map here. Do you have anything you can say about Nordland?
Nordland is a map where we saw Tween in the 4th group stage match absolutely dominate. It was ridiculous the times he was driving, 59.6, 59.7, 59.8. Any time in the low 1 minute is good enough to win in most rounds. But here, in this semifinal, the players know, especially with the finalist mode on the table, we're going to see under a minute. And Tween is looking like a really likely candidate to do that, but the others can stop him if they get some good runs.
We've talked about this before, the fact that once you're in finalist, there's no reason to not give it like every single risk that you can, because it doesn't matter whether you get last or first or last or second. The only thing that matters is that you get first. So you might as well push every single corner.
You have to. And I mean, Massa and Tween are just going to go all in. Pack, if he manages to get this win, he's going to have to go all in the next round. But we are reaching like terminal boiling point here for this match. Whoever wins in these next rounds will be going to the grand finals, and joined by them will be the players from semifinal 2, the winners there in the next matchup. So exciting stuff here in the tournament. Let's hear it one more time for this amazing match by the players as they try to qualify.
Only 10 seconds to go, and we're going to start the first round here on Nordland, and it could be the final round for one of the players, as they could be the first one to enter that grand finals.
They could. Here we go. Small, deep breath before the action, and now full focus for all of them. Cocow is not out of it either, but he needs to string together some wins with Pack. They need to delay the inevitable a little bit longer and get to 120 themselves. Massa and Tween, both with the red bag, just needs one win, and Tween with a clip there will most likely not be winning this first round. Opportunity for Massa here to get there himself.
But Cocow and Pack do have a pretty decent lead here on Massa, about almost 0.2 of a second, but Massa can push it just a little bit in the corners.
Risking.
Pack is going a little bit slower right here. Massa now jumping up to second place. Pack with a mistake. Massa going for the inside line here on the plastic. Can he be able to overtake Cocow here in the ending? Is he going to be able to do it?
Cocow's holding the fort. Massa is just wanting to pass one more player to get to the grand final of the tournament. Cocow, will he get the win on the last jump? Cocow denies Massa. And a 59 has been driven.
A 59 has been driven. Sub 1 minute times are incredibly fast, and we're going to continue to see them. And now we actually see Cocow also jumping up over that 100-point barrier.
And that is so clutch for Cocow. That time he just drove was 700s faster than his best time on this map all of yesterday. In the 4 group stage matches, he never drove that fast. He's really delivering when he has to get that important win.
And if there's any time to drive a PB, it is right now, where you have to deny both Tween and Massa getting that first place, because if any one of them finishes, they're going to qualify for the grand finals, and only 2 spots are left.
New opportunity for Tween. The 2 finalists are both in first and second, with Pack trailing about a 10th behind them. We could have one player qualifying through right now. Up the uphill, Tween pushing on the inside line. They're getting a good trajectory, with Massa's right there with him. This turn is where we saw some mistakes earlier. Massa almost hitting the wall. Pack down the plastic, very inside line to overtake Tween. Looking for that lead, but Tween still has about a wheel advantage over him on the different setups coming through. Tween, wider line, Massa there as well. They're all going down the hill. Tween on an inside approach. Pack with more speed. Who's it going to be?
Pack! Pack with a deny, and now we have a triple finalist situation.
It's incredible. They all were on pace for a sub 1 minute. Massa risked all in to try to get that win, and they know they have to. Whoever wins now, except for Cocow, if he does, is in the finals, Jnic.
Yeah, now we have 3 finalists, and Cocow needs to deny these players at least 3 times to be able to push himself into the grand finals, and that is a tall order to ask for Cocow. But right now, Cocow is in the lead, and he tries to push himself a little bit further than the other players.
Just imagine the pressure right now on him. He knows this is do or die for 3 rounds in a row. The others right there just waiting for any mistake, any dent in the armor where they can capitalize. Going up the hill here, they're all going to go full risk. Who is going to be the first to fall? Who's going to try to do a little bit too much? Who will be the one to win? Cocow's still looking for this, but he has to release a little bit on the plastic. He's given Tween an opportunity.
But Cocow did go a little bit too tight, and he lost a little bit of that exit speed, and now Massa is getting really, really close. Tween almost overtaking. Who's going to get the extra speed here in the last left-hander? Is Cocow going to be able to deny one more round? Is Massa going to be able to take it? Tween with a little bit more extra speed. There's one more left, and Tween makes it!
Tween is in the grand finals. The most hard-fought semis I've ever seen in Trackmania. Just by a couple of hundreds on the last jump, he takes it, and he is safe.
Tween is the first person to qualify for the grand finals, but we still have 2 people in finalist position, and Cocow only 1 win away from also getting there.
The prediction was right. This could really go anyone's way, and it still can. It's only down to 1 round, and all the predictions can be thrown out the books now. Anything can still happen. Cocow could win here, could win the next one. It's not impossible, but Massa has been driving consistently all throughout. Pack also with an opportunity to just do it if he gets these lines right for the next 30 or so seconds. Up the hill, whoever dares to do the turn. The riskiest might get the most speed. Pack extending a lead here by a little bit. Massa's made a mistake. Cocow, the only one who can deny Pack the grand finals ticket in this 1 versus 1.
Yes, and Cocow needs to go a little bit faster right now, but Pack has a solid lead, and Cocow makes a mistake, and Pack is now all alone. All he needs to do is get these final 2 jumps.
Can he get there, Pack? Give it up for your second grand finalist. What an incredible match.
That was just something for the ages. Honestly, that was incredibly close all the way through, giving us a triple finalist situation in the first semifinals.
All the players right now breathing exhaustedly. They fought as good as they could. And you know, the mutual respect being shown by them, hugs all around. They know what they played right now was spectacular, and it could have just as well been any of them that got there. So one more time, give it up for our fantastic semifinalists. But Pack and Tween will be your first players to see in the finals later today.
So we're gonna have a quick word with the qualifiers for the grand finals. Can we get Tween and Pack up on stage? So, first of all, I want to ask you, Tween, yesterday you had a strong showing, winning every single one of your matches and now also being the first winner of the semifinals. How does it feel?
It feels like I'm riding this wave, and it always just like such tense rounds just somehow end up in my favor, and it's just a really great feeling, and I can't wait for the final.
Oh, absolutely. So, who do you think here in the next semifinal, if you can remember the players that are going to be playing, do you have any prediction who's going to be facing off against you?
I'll go for Carl Jr. That's kind of a no-brainer, but the other 3, like, it will be so tight, and I'm going to root for Kappa because I think he's going to be the most improved player from day 1. So.
Okay. Very, very interesting.
Great prediction. Now, Pack, I want to hear your thoughts as well after that fantastic match. What did you think when you saw both Massa and Tween go into finals? You still had a little bit of ways to go. How did you keep yourself calm under that pressure situation?
Oh God, I don't think I did. I was just hoping that Cocow would beat them in 1 round. I mean, when they got to finals, I thought, oh God, here we go. This is a nightmare. But yeah, we got through, and somehow, yeah, clutched a few rounds and got there.
Yeah, amazing. And now looking forward to the finals as well. You've heard Tween's predictions. I would like to hear your predictions as well for who you think you might face off now in that grand final.
I mean, probably Carl, but I mean, who knows? Our semi-final was close, so you might see Brennan Binks. You might see Kappa cruise through. I mean, yeah, the safe bet is Carl, but it'd be cool to see 2 other people.
It would certainly, but with that, I think we're going to thank you for the interview and let you relax and catch your breath after that.
Can we have a hand
incredible match
for Tween and Pack?